So next up I'm going to go through some advanced controls for the JOSM Java OpenStreetMap editor. So remember, you can pause this video at any point in the process if you need more information or if you need to review anything extra. So kicking off first, I'm going to download an area. Okay, so now that I have this area here, I'm going to zoom in and find a larger building. So I have a nice large building here, which I'll just download. I believe it's the Pioneer Mall. Yep. So it's already mapped by somebody, and how you can find out who's mapped it is you can go into View and you can click on History. So you have to have selected an item first, and what will happen once you do that is it'll pull down information from OSM. So you'll see it was first added in August 2014 and it's been refined 3 times since. And you can simply click close. I actually cannot find a building that's already done or that's not already done, so I'm just going to use this empty space here just to illustrate what I was going to show you. So what I've shown you in the past is if you press A and you double click, you get a single node. If you just click once, you get a line. But if you press A twice before you draw anything, what you'll get is, you will see, if I turn off the imagery layer here, you will see it snaps to angles. So it makes it very easy to draw perfect shapes. So you can see as I bring this one up further, this node up here, it snaps to it, so it shows me if I want perfect 90-degree angle, I have to click here and then here. And that's another way of getting a square. It's also handy if you've a weird shaped building where you can simply go along the edges and you can adjust so that it's always accurate to whatever shape the building is. So I'll just select these and just delete them. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do relations. So you will see here, this building, if you click into it, it shows here member of multi-polygon building 2 members. So the 2 members are the outside and the inside. And if I open that up by clicking edit, you'll see this is the type of window that you get. So your tags go in up here and you have your 2 ways down here. So you have an inner and you have an outer. And you can see when I select either one, it will be highlighted in the window here. So I click on this one, it highlights over here. I click on this one, it highlights over here as well. You can also see that there is a full loop here, which means this is a complete boundary. There's no gap in it, so both are fully complete. So to explain relations a bit further, I'm going to create another version of this building. Again, just back over here. So I'm going to press A twice so that it'll snap to a grid. So I get one square like that, another square here. So now how I actually create these as a relation is you select both items, so you press S, then hold down the control key and click on both items. Then you go into your presets menu and you go right down to the very bottom and you're looking for relations. So you go to relations and multi-polygon. Once you click on that, you can name what it is. So if you know the name of the building or feature, you can add it here. If you don't, simply click new relation. So once you click it, you'll see both the inside and the outside are selected here, and they're both highlighted over here as well. How I know which to put the inner and outer roll on, I don't. So I simply select one and it remains highlighted over here. So now I know that's the outside part. So I add outer and click there, and it'll add the role of outer, where this one then becomes the inner. Okay, so next I've said that this is a multi-polygon, but I have to say what the multi-polygon is. So I'm going to say it's a building and that it's a house, and then I'm just going to click OK, and there you go. There is your multi-polygon. So you have two members and only this part is the building. If I try to do the same thing without creating it as a relation, what I will end up with is, I'll actually turn off the imagery so that it's easier to see this. So let's say I just selected these and just added the tag building house. What I end up with is a house inside a house, and there's no gap in the middle. So if I uploaded this would look like two houses sitting on top of each other, whereas this just looks like one house with a gap in the middle for a courtyard or whatever. Okay, so that's relations. So next up I'm going to go through the JOSM validation window. So over on the bottom right over here you'll see validation results. So let's say I make a mistake. So if I try to map a lake but I don't close it, I might call this natural water and water equals lake. And if I try to upload, I'll get an error. So I'll get loads of errors here. So the first one I'm going to fix here is natural type water unclosed way. So how you address this, if you're editing a large area, and let's say you're over this side of the city and you can't remember where this error might be, you simply double click on it to select it. So you see now up here I've selected it. So once you double click on it, press the number 3 on your keyboard and you will zoom to the feature, so it'll bring you straight to it. You'll also get an updated layer here called validation errors. So this will often highlight nodes or will highlight whole ways or areas. It's very useful in identifying the issue, but sometimes it can make it more difficult to actually fix the issue. So how you turn this off and on is you click the small little eyeball here, and you see those big yellow dots have disappeared now. So to fix this, I simply close that, and you can see down here now under warnings I have 2, so when I try to upload again I have only 1 warning now. So the other warnings that I have an error and I have a warning here. So I have no outer way for houses. So these are the houses that I drew a few moments ago and then deleted, but I didn't delete the multi-polygon itself, the relation. So I need to select that, edit it, so I need to select that, and then inside here, inside relations, you'll see multi-polygon house, 0 members. So the relation still exists, but I've no inside or outside. So I simply click on the trash can to delete this one. It'll ask me if I'm absolutely sure if I want to do this, and I'll say yes. So now when I try and upload, it brings me straight through to the upload window. So I've fixed every error. So I'm going to introduce a couple more errors just to show you how to handle them. So I'm going to add an imaginary road here. I'm going to classify it as highway residential, and if I try to upload, if if I classify it as primary and I try to upload, it should ask me for the name, and it's not actually doing it at the moment. But typically I will, oh my apologies, the error is actually over here, I just missed it. So you'll see unnamed ways. So the same thing again, if I double click on it, it selects it, and if I press 3 it brings my view straight to it. So with this error, if you know the name of the road or reference number for the road, you can add it simply by clicking add here and adding the details here. But if you don't, it's safe to ignore that and just continue your upload. Okay? But because this road doesn't exist, I'm going to delete it. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the Fast Draw plugin. So this is one that you will have installed earlier during the setup, and how you actually use it is, let's for example assume that this line coming up here is a river or a stream. How you typically have to map it is press A and come along and click all the way down. However, I just get rid of that. If I hold down shift and press F, you'll see my cursor is now changed, and now I can either left click or hold down the space bar and it will simply draw it for me, so it saves me having to click my mouse. And then I just hit enter and I'll be left with the line of the river or stream, and from there I can just tag it as I normally would. So next I'm going to show you how, if you have any issues within JOSM, how to fix them. So for example, if you're drawing a building, if you happen to select that building and try to draw another building, you'll see you can't actually change the orientation. This is because it will bring it to the exact same orientation as this building over here. So this is useful when you have a lot of the same sort of buildings in a row and you want to keep the orientation the same, in which case you can just come along and do it like this. However, if you want to change and do it in a different direction, this won't let you. So the easiest way to fix anything in JOSM is simply to hit escape. So if you're trying to draw a building here that's at a different angle and it won't let you, hit escape, that'll turn off this, and hit escape again, it'll deselect that. So now you can draw a building at a different angle. So the next thing I'm going to show you is just in your JOSM layout, the windows here on the right hand side. You can add and remove windows here as you need them. So for example, this one, conflict, will very rarely ever appear, and only appears if there's an issue with the data you're trying to upload. So typically you can close that one. How you can add and remove windows over here is on the left hand side here. If I click this black arrow down here, you'll see I've got layers, which corresponds to this window here. I've got tags for selected objects, which corresponds to this one here. Then I've got relations, which is this one, and validation results, which is this box here, corresponds to this one here. And very lastly, map paint styles corresponds to this one down here. So how you can add and remove them: if you wanted to get rid of everything, you can just simply X them all and then they're all gone. If you want to add them back, you just click the buttons over here and they'll all get added back for you. What's sometimes useful is if you want to keep some over here but you don't need to keep them open, you can simply minimize them down so it makes your other windows bigger. As well, you can pull a window out so you have it out over here. Then if you close it, it pops back in. So again, this one is now loose and I can move it anywhere I want. If I close it, it jumps back in over here. So this is useful just if you're having trouble finding some of these windows. So that's everything for the JOSM Advanced. That should cover just about every other usage that you might need, and all the other videos should help you getting more information on tagging and the other basics in JOSM as well. Okay, good luck.